Hi, this is Cheryl back with you from Farmhouse Frugally, and today we are doing November's What Would You Make? I need to go ahead and make these products using something from wood. So I am going to start this first one with one of these little signs you can get at the dollar store. And I got it, several years ago for $1. And so I am just pulling off, easier than it sounds, some of the items so that I can have a little house. And I also have this block of wood I got at the Good Table at the Dump, and it's some kind of a tool holder. So I am going to start by sanding that, getting the words off of that, and then taking that little house with the letter E, and I'm going to paint it with this beautiful blue-green custom color that I made up, and I absolutely love. And I am going to just give that one good coat all the way around. And then I'm going to take some small popsicle sticks and I'm going to just cut 2 pieces for a roof. Yeah, I just painted those 2 in a dark brown, and then once that was completely dry, just glued them directly onto the top of the little house. And then I just took some of the paint and just touched up any areas where that needed to be touched up. And this collaboration, What Would You Make, is hosted by Brenda and Christine, and they have a guest host, Cindy. This month I will put their channels as well as a playlist in my description box so you can see what the other creators have made for this challenge. So once I had the little house drying, I took a little Christmas tree, little bottle brush tree, and glued that directly onto the little block of wood. And then I just used a little gold paint pen to paint some windows and door onto the front of that now dry little house. And then the fun begins. I just took another little Christmas tree and put that out of the front of that house. And then I am a little bit off screen here, but I added a little bit of green to the front near the door. And then I just added a couple of other items that I thought would be very cute in this tiny little wooden vignette. I took some pom-poms and cut those down a little bit and glued that on to make a little snowman. And then I added some snow and some icicles. And to make those icicles, I just simply took my hot glue gun, started on the ridge of the roof, and just put a little dab and drew my glue gun down a little bit so that that would look like an icicle. I did that all along the ridge of the roof. And then I took some plastic-like fake snow that I had in my stash and glued that all along, primarily along the roof. And then I also had these little tiny styrofoam snowballs, and I glued those in little puddles here and there, little snowbanks around other parts of the snowman and the trees and the house and such. And I added a little rusty star and a little bow to the top of the star on top of this tree. I think the hardest part of this is dealing with those little teeny tiny styrofoam snowballs. They get all over the place and they're just very staticky. But once I had that done, I thought that that came out absolutely adorable for just a little shelf sitter or tiered tray sitter. And then I added a little face for my granddaughter to the snowman, and that first one is finished. So if you happen to have one of those little Dollar Tree houses, that would be a great little addition to a mantle or just to a tiered tray. Next, I'm taking this little sign that I got for, I think, 50 cents at a local thrift store a couple of weeks ago, and I am just going to paint over that saying. And then once I have that dry, then I am going to cover that. So I've had this little red wreath in my stash for several Christmases now, and to be honest, it's just kind of red. It's just there. It's just kind of boring. And so I decided that as much as I like the red berries, I don't like them just plain. So I unwound that, taking off each of the little branches, and then I decided to use the round that was left and to go ahead and recreate a wreath using some of the picks that I got from Temu quite some time ago. And I am just going to bend them a little bit and wire them around the wreath form. And I think it took 4, might have been 3, to finish this. And then once I had the basic green on there, I went back with the red berries and filled just a few of them in here and there. And then I added a black velvet little bow to the top of this. And I did decide to go ahead and add a few of the little wood white snowflakes that I had left in my stash. And then I decided that I would show you a couple of different options. I have this little flat metal grater, and I absolutely love these. And so I thought, how pretty would that be on top of the grater? But of course, this is a what wood you make, so I need to use a wood product. So I took out a wooden bowl, and I thought I would show you how that would look as like a candle ring. And then I decided to actually put several pieces together. So I am going to switch out the bow for something that I think looks cuter with these colors. And then I am going to wire that little wreath onto the metal grater. And then I am going to add that to the little wooden sign. Don't forget to hit like if you're enjoying this video, and please subscribe so you can see all the other future content that I have coming up. So once I had that all together, I just propped it up on my hutch where I had a number of other items in these red Christmas tones and have a lot of the silver pewter colors as well on that hutch. So I thought the combination really popped, and I love the way that this came out and how versatile it is just to do something as simple as a little wreath, really. So next thing I'm going to do is I found this box on the good table at the dump, and I don't know if it had cigars in it once upon a time or what that was, but I figured I could pretty easily just peel that fake leather right off of it, and it came right off. I took it downstairs and I sanded it, and the box came out beautifully. Then I began to fill it, and realized I didn't film as I was filling it. So I just took some different kinds of moss, glued that in the bottom, and I had a little white candle ring made out of all these little berries that my daughter had picked up on the good table with several others, never used, still in package. So I thought, how cute is that? So I added a little bird from my stash and some greenery. And then I pulled out some red berries because, of course, I wanted this to look a little bit more on the Christmas side. And I put a couple in the little bird nest. And then I added a little bit more green to hide the fact that one of those little red berry styrofoam pieces was white. And rather than try to color match that, I figured I would just glue a little bit of greenery on there and cover that right up. And then once I had that, I wanted to recreate a sweet little scroll. I had seen Favi from Arrows DIY make the cutest little scroll in her recent angel. Glory to God in the Highest, I think is the name of her video. So you're going to want to check that out. It came out absolutely beautiful. And so what she had done was she used a toilet paper roll. I used a piece of cereal box and just cut a strip of that and then wound the ends around just a skewer stick. And then I painted mine. I don't remember if she painted hers or not, but I painted mine white. And then I went ahead and after that was dry, took some of my brown distressing ink and just sort of went around the edges to make that look a little older, a little bit more antique-y. And then I took out a black pen and wrote on the scroll. I glued the little bits of wooden skewer that I cut off after I had also put the brown ink on them. And I just glued one to each end of that scroll. And then I attached the whole thing to the corner of the box. And I think that this absolutely is the sweetest thing. Makes it look a little bit more Christmas. And I just loved that design. And I love how the wreath came out. I love how the little house came out. But honestly, this one absolutely is my favorite. But I would love to know which is your favorite today from this What Would You Make collaboration. Don't forget to check out the playlist that is in my description box. Thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you for your lovely comments and your support of my channel. I really appreciate you, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.